You are listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast. This is the place where content creators come to learn how to create profitable content that positions themselves as an authority and grows their online businesses. Get ready to take your content to a whole new level with your host, Kristen Poborsky.
One of the biggest questions I get all the time from clients and my students in my Smart Simple Content Marketing and Automation program is really, how do I create a profitable social media strategy? Well, today I am here to give you 5 tips, 5 steps to creating a profitable social media strategy that will help you build your audience, get leads, and turn them into clients, okay? So I just want to give you a sneak peek at what I'm going to cover, and I have like 2 questions. Actually, I got 3 today that I will be answering at the very end. But the first thing I'm going to cover is what you need to have before you get started, okay? I'm going to go into detail on that because that's key. Then the second step is all about creating a content plan. And number 3 is about opt-ins. Number 4 is how to create demand inside of your content. I'm going to share that with you. That's number 4. And number 5 is the secret to making more sales, okay? And I'm going to go deep into that. Then I'm going to answer these 3 questions, so you're going to want to stay all the way to the end that I get asked all the time. So number 1 is, how does social media marketing help my business? Number 2 is, where should I start with my social media strategy and my marketing? And number 3, how can I improve my social media strategy? But before I dive into the 5 secrets to creating a profitable social media strategy and answering those questions, I just want to give you guys, for those of you who do not know me, a little introduction. And I'm Kristen Poborsky, and I help coaches, healers, and course creators dial in their content creation strategy and their course creation strategy, implement it, and get it automated so that they don't have to work long hours every single day figuring out how to build an audience, turn them into leads and customers, okay? I discovered about 6 or 7 years ago the power of content creation in a way that helped my clients and myself really create profitable content and automate it out there. I was a struggling virtual assistant at the beck and call of my clients, so much so that I couldn't even go on vacation without working. And I was like ready to throw in the towel. I figured there had to be a different way to run my business and serve my clients. And that's when I figured out that one of the biggest things that they really needed was a way to create content, automate it, and get it out there so that it would get the phone ringing, emails asking to work with them, all right? So I went out and I did a lot of work, spent a lot of time and a lot of money. And that's where I developed my Smart Simple Content Marketing and strategy, or sorry, I'm stumbling over myself. Smart Simple Content Creation and Automation program. So what I discovered was there really was a correlation between what kind of content they created, my clients and myself, that drew people in. And I turned this all into a system so that I didn't have to handle every single piece of content that went out there. And then I automated it for them so that it would be going out there 24/7. And what it's done for them, and one client in particular, it has given him the freedom to run his business as he chooses. He can go and be out anywhere and his business still runs for him. He comes in his office every single day. There's emails, the phone's ringing. He's been able to add $25,000 to his bottom line every single year. And even during the pandemic, his business did not take a nosedive. In fact, it's actually gotten better during the pandemic. And today he's got a 6-week waiting list of people wanting to work with him. Okay, so enough of that. Let's dive into today's topic, the 5 steps that you need to follow so that you can have a profitable social media strategy. Okay, so number 1, before you even go out there and create a strategy or go on social media, you really have to have a product or program or a service that you sell, okay? Because you're going to be talking about that in all of your content. It actually even drives what your content plan should be. So that's why you want to have at least one, because you want to build a content and social media strategy all around what it is that you do, educating why you are the go-to person, why your method will solve their problem, help them get whatever they need. So you definitely need to start with the end in mind, and you'll see as I go through the other steps how it all ties together, okay? The next thing you want to do is you want to create a content plan that aligns with what you're selling, your services, your program, or your course. You definitely want to align that, and you want to pick topics that you teach are inside your course. So if you're teaching mindset, that's great. Talk about mindset. If you're talking about content creation like I do, and course creation and things like that, then you're going to create a bank of content all around on those subjects, okay? So that's pretty much why you want to start with having a program, service, and all of that in mind, because it drives your social media and your content plan. And once you start creating content that aligns with that, everything else is going to work that much better, okay? Then the next thing you want to do is you want to create opt-ins that align with your services and are like the next natural step for someone to take that's consuming your content. Okay, so for me, when I'm talking about content, I have a profitable content creators roadmap, and that is like the natural step to show them the steps that they need to do to create profitable content that will help them grow their audience, get leads, and all of that. That's like the next natural step between consuming my content and then coming into my content ecosystem, where I can help people more with more content, and when they decide that they want to come and work with me, that's really where the transformation happens, okay? So you definitely want to have at least 1 or 2 opt-ins per program that you have, and they really should align with the topics that you're talking about, okay? So that's key to it, because that's going to bring them to the next step, where you really want to take people who are in your audience and bring them into your content ecosystem that you have, okay? That's where you really can then begin the next journey towards their transformation, which happens when they come to work with you. Okay, so the next thing is, and I love this, it's called creating demand using a seeding technique that you want to do inside of all of your content. And again, this is why you want your content to align with your programs and things like that. So you tell stories, you create case studies, you talk about what you do in all of those. You talk about your program, you talk about your methods, you talk about your systems and how it gets these results. And that is the seeding technique, because you're seeding in the idea to your audience that you have these great tools, these great methods that's going to solve their problems and help them. That creates a demand, creates desire for what you have, okay? So you definitely want to use that all inside of your content. And I teach that inside of my Smart, Simple Content Marketing and Automation in the messaging section where I call it magnetic messaging. And there are more than one ways that you can create desire and sell inside of your content without selling salesy. Isn't that cool? I just love it because it makes me feel good when I can talk about what it is that I do, how it works, and know that these things work to sell without me feeling like pushy or salesy. Okay, it's key. And you know what? Your audience will love it too, because nobody wants to have someone come and say, buy this, buy that. It's just a major turn on. Okay, then the last thing that you want to do, and this is one of the things that a lot of people forget to do, and that is make more offers. Okay, I learned this. I doubled my sales in my last launch because I offered a downsell at the end of my launch. And then in a few weeks, I'm going to be doing what I call a FOMO promo, where I'm going to actually talk about an interview with my students, the results that they're getting right now in my program, and create content around it where they share those results, and I'm going to put it out and share it with my audience, my email list, and open up the cart again to that program that I just launched. Brilliant. So that's what you want to do. That's just one example. You may want to have an intro offer that is a lower ticket offer that then they bump them up to buying your bigger program, and then after that, your premium program, right? So what you really want to do is always be making offers, and not just once a quarter. So I have a calendar all set up so that I am making offers all the time, and it's all based on when I launch a program. And it's great because it's automated. All I have to do is show up, do the launch, and then the other parts of it are all automated to happen right after, at a week after, and then 30 days after. So that's key. What most people don't do is they just don't make enough offers. And that is the best way that you can increase your sales and help your marketing strategy be that more profitable. Okay, so now you know all the steps. That one is have a product, program, or service that you want to sell. 2 is to create a content plan that aligns with that. Number 3 is have those opt-ins that are the next bridge that bring them closer to working with you. They're the logical next step from the content to working with you, right? Bringing them into your own content ecosphere, right? On your list. That's where you want them to go. Then you're going to always create demand in your content and in your emails by highlighting, telling stories, talking about your programs, your services, and things like that, how they help and solve the problem. That is how you create desire and demand. And last but not least, make more offers. So think about having a lower ticket offer that bumps them up into a higher ticket offer or preps them for a launch that you're having. Do a downsell after your launches, and then have a FOMO promo afterwards. Okay? So there you have all of them right there. And if you are ready to get started creating content and building a content ecosystem that helps you build your audience, bring them into your content ecosphere, aka a lead, and then turn them into paying clients, I have the Profitable Content Creators Roadmap right down below in the show notes that will help you get there from audience all the way to paying customers. All right, so let's go into the first question that people have, okay? Because a lot of people think, I don't really need social media. And people ask, and I get this question all the time, and I have to, it's part of my job to teach people social media, how to automate it, and how to use it in a way so that it doesn't burn them out. So the question really is, how does social media marketing help my business? It helps in a lot of ways. And first and foremost, really, it's a way for you to be visible out there on social media and to get in front of an audience that you wouldn't normally have access to without paying money. Now, you could always do that with paid ads, but social media is free. So you want to pick places that you're going to get the biggest bang for your money and that you can create content in a way that's easily repurposed from one social media platform to another. That's why I always teach inside of my programs, right content at the right time, and my Smart Simple Content Marketing and Automation program, that creating video content is really the best place to start. And I use that myself because it's easily repurposed it. So that kind of brings me into my next question. How should I start with social media marketing? So what you basically need to start by doing is creating a content plan, right? Because that's where it all starts. And if you align your content plan with what your offerings and services are, that's even better, because you're going to make people aware of what you do and how you help them. So then you take your content, the best parts of your content, and turn it into social media pieces, which could be bite-sized videos, it could be quotes, it can be tips, things like that. You want to turn all those, the best pieces of it, into social media, right? So where you really want to start is by creating video content, because it's the easiest thing and fastest thing to create, and it's so easy to repurpose it from YouTube to your blog to a podcast. Even if you're not ready to create a podcast right now, if you've got a bank of content, that video content sitting out there that you've had for years, you can easily turn that into podcast content. It's exactly what I did for my client, Todd Krieger. And we took old videos and we stripped the audio out and we turned it into a podcast. And now he's getting 1,200 downloads a month in his podcast, which is less than a year old, which is great growth, because we already had a content plan in place that we knew was working. We knew this content was working out on YouTube and social media, and we just repurposed it. So definitely you want to start by creating video content and using things like your blog and your YouTube channel, because they're evergreen content, and they are search engines. So people are searching for answers to what you do, and that is the two best places that you can start, and then just repurpose small pieces of it to other places like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest, other places like that. So that's the best way to get started, all right? Then the last question I'm going to answer today is, how can I improve my social media strategy? And I'd say the number one way that you can do to improve it is really start creating content that aligns with your business, and start seeding your services, your methods, telling people how you can help inside your social media content, okay? Your regular content and your social media posts. So just start creating content that aligns with what you do in your program, turn it into social media, and that is the easiest and smartest way that you can improve your social media strategy. So don't forget, if you are ready to start creating profitable content that builds your audience, gets you leads, and turns them into paying customers, I've got the Profitable Content Creators Roadmap right below, waiting for you in the show notes.
You've been listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, where content creators go to learn how to take their content creation to the next level. If you love the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. Until next time.